Start with some comment response time, Jordan. We're gonna do this a video at a time.
Dun.
Beginning with our video, Mr. Rogers was not a saint. There really isn't a good place to read YouTube comments. One of my personal favorites was, I'm not gonna read names. If you want to see who these comments are from, you can go read the comments. Go watch the video and see the comments there. You can see who they are. Go to their YouTube channel. Don't harass people, please, on our behalf. It's not cool. But one of my personal favorites was Mr. Rogers pushed a lot of dangerous propaganda that harmed generations of children. My response to that is, what, being nice to your neighbor and being a good person is dangerous propaganda?
Yeah, I mean, I don't... Maybe he did off-screen, but the Mr. Rogers that I remember on-screen was pretty, like, when it comes to... I'm just going to say, when it comes to religion, he was pretty religion-neutral. In the show, anyway.
Right.
And his message was really just about being a good person. Kind to your neighbors.
Right? And so their response was that he could list dozens of examples, but the one that they chose to list was that he pushed vaccinations. To what I respond, oh, you're one of those people. Yay.
I mean, okay, yeah, I'm just not even... If you are an anti-vax person, I'm not engaging with you.
See, my favorite podcast, The Weekly Planet, they call this segment Hate Mail, but the hate is spelled with an 8. I don't have a name for this yet.
Okay.
But that was my way of being like, I don't have a name for the segment yet.
Here's the name for the segment: Rage Bait.
Rage Bait. So one person left a comment that said that it was a nice 16-minute view on how to not make content, or how we don't know how to make content yet. We couldn't even focus on the point. We both suck at making YouTube videos. Learn how to not suck talking to a camera, and stop talking shit on other people's content. To which I respond, how do you get better at talking to a camera without sucking at talking at a camera?
To which I respond,
Bite me?
No.
Also, I don't talk to the camera. I talk to Jordan. So the camera,
I mean, yeah,
is there. It's like up there, and Jordan is right there. So I talk to Jordan. Or if Jake is on, I talk to Jake. Or if Haley's on, I talk to Haley. I don't talk to the camera. Sorry, guys.
For me, it's even more. It's even more like you are the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the camera is a tiny little pinprick off to the side, right, that I'm pointing at right now. But I'm on my phone, so, like, I'm just looking at my phone, and you're on my phone. So I'm literally just talking to you.
So, okay, I will bring up a positive comment. There's a bunch of... Someone called us neckbeards based on our opinions on Christianity, which I felt we were really fair-minded to Christianity in that video, but that's neither here nor there. One of my personal favorites, and this one I will shout out their name because it's a nice comment. It was a host_theghost507. He says, thank you for this read on Mr. Rogers. You nailed it. Tom Hanks makes the same mistakes that so many impressionists do of playing Fred Rogers as sweet and soft. I met him as a student at Carnegie Mellon, and sweet doesn't figure into it. He really saw you. That can feel unnerving for people who aren't ready to be as completely open as he was. I sometimes think that people play up the soft and gentle angle because it's easier than dealing with how he's able to look past whatever pose or defense you're putting up. My read on Fred Rogers wasn't that he was namby-pamby, is that he was fierce in protecting children, and that he really cared about people as individuals. He had to contend with his anger like the rest of us, and he could be cynical and depressed, but he never gave up on people, and that took a lot of courage. And he said, I really appreciate how you got past the surface of the movie and dealt with the real Fred Rogers, which, thank you, I tried my best. And yes, I completely agree. I think you can be nice and still be a fully three-dimensional person. I think everyone tends to see Mr. Rogers as like a caricature. Almost.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, because of his time on PBS, he definitely kind of more became known as Mr. Rogers, the PBS character,
right?
And less as Mr. Rogers, the thinking, feeling human being, who of course had his moments where, like, you can't be on all the time.
Exactly.
Even if you're the most on person on the planet, you can't be on all the time.
And his off might be 1,000 times nicer than your off, but he still has an off.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, we got another comment, which was who said that he was a saint. He just said what kids needed to hear. Lots of people did. Lots of people thought he was a saint. that he was essentially, I mean, and he is kind of in a sense that he is the truest teacher of the actual legit followings of Jesus. And so in that regard, I suppose he's a saint. But there was another really long comment, which I won't read, which basically was like, saints are fairy tales. They don't actually exist, which is true.
I mean, okay, yeah, like I said, even the best person, the most holy, the Pope even, is still human. And what is that famous line from religion? To err is human.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to ask. So on our video, Grave of the Fireflies is a moving and beautiful piece of cinema that I will never watch again. I think Hakime over 9,000. I'm gonna check with Jake. I'm pretty sure that's Jake's co-host on Down the Middle. But they left a comment that said, "This is my top 5 greatest movies ever made, but I would never watch it again. Even though I would like everyone to watch it in a room alone. If you can." It can put you in a bad headspace, and if you're really on the edge, this movie can push you over it. And then they recommended Metropolis 2001. That's another one that's amazing. We'll keep that in mind for the future.
Interesting. But Again and Forever says the coolest Canadian brothers in the world.
I mean, Again and Forever is the coolest Mexican rock star metal that we know. Currently, hey, since he's here, I'll throw the link in the description after we're done here. But you can go vote for them. Their music video of Chop Suey is out currently, and they're in competition to go perform. Jordan, do you remember where he said they were performing?
Oh, not off the top of my head.
No, it's not coming to me off the top of my head.
I want to say it was Rolling Stone.
Yeah, they get to do a big concert. I voted a bunch. I've already voted a bunch.
I voted a bunch as well.
But I really quite like their cover of Chop Suey. I think I might like it more than the original, but I don't like really screamy. But it's really good. It's a really good music video. You can go check that out. Yeah, I'll throw it in the description after we're done. I enjoy.
Very nice.
I enjoy how he calls us the Sporer Brothers. It makes me it tickles me every time. Anyway, the other comment on our Grave of the Fireflies video is that this person would recommend it to those who need a tear and don't have any.
Yeah, that's accurate.
It's rough.
That's an up. So it's a rough go.
Next
beautiful
video.
movie.
Beautiful movie. So on our video, somebody please explain Beavis and Butthead to me. We got a number of comments.
Did someone in fact explain Beavis and Butthead to you?
They definitely attempted to. Us. They definitely attempted to. I would say what they said it doesn't make any sense based upon what I watched. But okay, so one comment read that the show is mainly a commentary on current events / social trends / culture. It's satire. They're supposed to be dumb and somewhat representative of your average local dumbass. And you get a mixed mash of other archetypes with the town folks. The power dynamic argument is irrelevant. I get the laughs annoying, but again, they aren't cool / good guys. They stumble through life. Yeah, but no. That's not how the show reads. At least that's not how the show plays out. These guys are like they're not supposed to be cool or good, but they have no self-awareness enough to learn a lesson. They're just dumb, and most of the show is just the reactions to the music video. So it's not really, and what most of their reaction isn't. It just kind of seems like that Mike Judge just watched the music video and did the voices. Like, it doesn't really seem to be all that biting of commentary, and the actual episode parts don't really have any resolution, like I said in that video. And then another attempt to explain.
Justin, it was a different time. It was a romp, Justin.
And this I do believe. But one comment said that if you grew up in the 80s, you get the show because they all knew kids who acted like that. And they would
believe.
They also cut to the music videos where they gave reactions, paved the way for reaction videos before YouTube. That I will say is true. Like, that absolutely. They predate any reaction channel on YouTube. Like, they conceivably came up with the concept. What they were saying was not insightful or interesting or worth watching, in my opinion, but they definitely started the trend. I will not take that away from them.
To be fair, Justin, we didn't say explain why you like Beavis and Butthead. We just said explain it to us. So that is an explanation. They've given you an explanation.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't. I guess I've never gotten it. I've never gotten it. I don't think I ever will. It's very interesting because even when I was like 12 or 11 or 13, like I was like, I hate these characters. They're juvenile for me. And also because I think I got called a butthead a lot. It just was one of those things where it wasn't an endearing name. Yeah,
No.
I don't. I will say I've seen clips of the new season and of the new season I was telling you about. Further clips of it because obviously it's in my algorithm now, and it looks like the smart Beavis and Butthead come back, and they occasionally do episodes with in the movie you see the true future version of Beavis and Butthead, which is they're just regular guys who work and go and like they hang out, and so you see episodes with them, and they now have kids. and the kids all beat each other up and are friends and whatever. Yeah, like that's kind of neat. That is kind of neat that they expanded upon those ideas from that movie. And also, yeah, I didn't completely hate that movie. So on our Doctor Who video, what on earth is happening on Doctor? Huh? Oh, I get it. Sorry, the new comment I didn't see. Someone just said all part of the.
This was a live reaction for you, YouTube. You just saw his actual legitimate reaction to this comment.
Yeah, which is just all part of the Doctor incest plan, like Loki.
What?
So the Doctor can kiss himself, like on Loki.
Oh. Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway,
yeah, a lot of like, oh yeah, what's happening? DEI. This is a desperate ploy to get people to watch the show again. It's all about nostalgia, whatever. But the one I will say that I did have a conversation with in the chat. Oh wow, this is really.
I saw one person. All right, I don't remember where I saw it exactly, but I saw one take that part of what made Cutie Nudie Goody. I can never pronounce his name right. Gatwa. What made his doctor less good than previous doctors is that he didn't have his own outfit.
Yeah.
Like every episode he was in a different outfit, and that made him less identifiable.
I don't disagree, but also like his whole bit was that he. Oh, that's reductive, but he's the gay one. He's fashionable. Fluid. Yeah.
Well, I was more going to say in a more tactful way that he's the fluid one who constantly changes.
Yeah, which they didn't lean hard enough into. For them, I mean, the closest they got is in the last episode where he's arbitrarily wearing a dress because he's
not arbitrarily wearing a dress. He's wearing a dress to try and basically stress. Because from what I recall, in one of the previous parts, there's a thing which is I'm staying vague, but there's a thing which is causing bad things to happen, and so in order to basically push people out of their preconceived notions of what reality should be, he puts on the dress.
Sure, but I mean, functionally, it's because he's regenerating into Billy Piper, and that way she's now wearing a dress.
Yes, if you want to look at the meta reason, yes, absolutely. But I'm just saying, in terms of the story itself, there is a reason.
I'm reading.
I think.
Yeah, basically the general consensus is, sorry, she hasn't been credited as the Doctor on screen or referred to as such by anyone connected with the show. It's a cynical bit of fan service like the offer of oral sex by someone who knows you plan to break up with them. That's funny. But basically, it's a desperate ploy to get people to come back to the show, which I don't get why, because the people who they're trying to get back will automatically on face hate the fact that it's a woman. So...
I mean, but it's not an inaccurate statement. That is.
No, for sure it is. For sure it is.
What they're doing.
I mean, I guarantee you, she's not the Doctor, and it's a fake out. Well, I saw a lot of people say they hope it's a fake out, and it turns out that Judy didn't actually regenerate, and this is just an excuse to give him a break so he can go film shit. But like that's kind of plagued his entire run. So if they have to write reasons for him to be away, then yeah, you might as well. like regenerate
Well,
him?
yeah, I mean, I said that like a while ago in one of the previous seasons where there's only 8 episodes and he's not in enough of them.
No.
And so like I said pretty much right from the beginning of his tenure as the Doctor, if he can't commit to the show, he shouldn't be on the show. And clearly, finally, some executive at Disney finally agreed. And
No, he
because
did.
from what I well, that's
He did.
the question,
It came from
isn't it?
him. He didn't want to. Well, from
That's the question, isn't it? Because I've heard rumors that he got forced out.
Oh no, so that's not that. What? Okay. Apparently, what happened was he chose to left. He chose to leave because what was going to happen with the show was up in the air as to what was going to happen, whether it was going to get canceled or not get canceled, and he chose to leave last minute because he didn't want to wait around to be to do this, and he had other options, and you could tell that he chose to leave last minute because allegedly they reshot the ending, and you can tell. I haven't seen it, so I cannot confirm, but
it would kind of also, in a meta sense, fit because again, I maintain all the other Doctors regenerated under duress, which the actors had to leave, and this time he chose to leave, and so they wrote it in such a way that the Doctor chose to leave.
Yeah, and apparently that all those changes were very last minute, like all of it. That's why it all seems really rushed, like 2 seasons worth of. Apparently he was supposed to stay on for one more season, supposedly, but he chose not to. At like the last second, which look, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't have minded. I'm kind of in a position of I don't really care. He wasn't around long enough or in enough episodes for me to form a deep connection with him. But by that same token, he wasn't around around enough or in enough episodes for me to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm tired of him and I'd like to see someone new.
I would have liked to see one more season. Like Peter
I wouldn't
Capaldi.
have minded. I wouldn't have minded if he had stayed for another season, but he also wasn't around enough for me to care that he's not.
No, they didn't have enough episodes with him. That's where people are like, oh, he did 2 seasons. That's one more than Christopher. I think he's still longer than Christopher Eccleston, but it's not. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Anyway, my final.
Partier Broadway World podcast says, "I'm here. I've arrived. Finally, have I missed the Wicked trailer reaction?"
Not yet. I have thoughts about it, though. We're going to get there. We'll do that one first.
Did you send that one to me?
I did send it to you, yeah.
I don't remember you sending that one to me. I don't think I watched that one. I might have to do that live on the air.
I mean, all right. I mean, we could pull it up and watch it together.
We could do that.
I mean, I'm sure I'll get copyright struck to hell, but we can certainly try.
I mean, I was just gonna pull it up on my tablet and have it like where I do it that way. But sure, if you want to do a double reaction to it, we could do that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Finally, in our series
comment
of
response
time, it's the
rage bait
segment. It's our King of the Hill video, which was titled "King of the Hill is a conservative show, and that's fine." And it has been. I think this might be more wild than the Andor comment section, only because it's been fascinating. Because both sides got upset by that characterization. Like all the liberals who grew up loving that show and finding that show funny, they associate the word conservative with MAGA or Republican. Right? And I never said he was MAGA, and I never said it was a right-leaning show or a right-wing show. I said it was a conservative show. And that's because Hank is a conservative. Hank Hill is a conservative man.
To be fair, and this was something that I was thinking about, I think part of why we see him as a conservative who might have voted liberal or independent or what have you is because of I don't want to say exactly who, but you know who, and who we grew up with. Because I always saw Hank as him.
Yeah.
Like they're similar. And he was conservative, but he was I'm pretty sure anyway, he usually voted liberal. I would
argue he was conservative.
But not everybody.
Well, no, it's culturally and intrinsically. The idea of Republicans aren't conservative, and that idea, they've become so intrinsically MAGA and Donald Trump, and that they're so ashamed of that association that even the implication that they might be that offends them. And then, so the other category of comment that we got on that video, hold on,
because I did peruse some of those comments, and I agree with I kind of agree with the position that it in and of itself is not necessarily a political show.
No, I never said it was a political show. That's not what I said.
But it does have characters that fit into certain camps.
Yes, that's what makes it. That's what I'm saying. I never said the show itself. I said it was a conservative show in that it has conservatives on it. That's the point. Like, one comment tried to be like, "Oh, Hank's
yeah, but
Hank's favorite." Hold on. Hank's favorite president is Ike, and that's just not true. His favorite president was Reagan. Like, he is a full bore. He wanted to vote for Bush until he had a limp handshake. He is a conservative man, right?
But it also has characters. It also has characters that would be considered to be like more Democrat, I guess, if we're American. Like Connie, for example. She would not be a Republican.
No, but that's what I'm saying is it's still a conservative show. And more often than not, the moral of the show is that the crazy liberal is crazy and that the conservative is right.
Sure, but just as often, the point, and I'm mostly arguing devil's advocate here. Just as often in that show, the point is that, oh, Dale is crazy, or, oh, Hank is being unreasonable. There's an entire episode where he goes to anger management because he's being so unreasonable.
Right, so but he's not portrayed as the wrong one in that episode, though. That's the thing. And also, he's portrayed, him and the other guy are portrayed as being the righteous ones, just the same as there's that episode where Bobby wants to join the free-spirited Christian guys, and Hank won't let him. That's him being a conservative. He is a conservative. Like, he's a conservative guy in the heart of Texas, and that's fine. That's okay.
The show really does. The show really does. It strikes a balance of Hank being right and Hank being wrong.
That doesn't change the fact.
Whenever, yes, it does change the fact. It absolutely does.
No, but it doesn't make it any less of a conservative show. That's the
sure,
point.
but it doesn't make it any more of a conservative show. It makes it an apolitical show which has conservative characters.
But that still makes it a conservative. That's my point.
No, it doesn't. But
you're doing the same thing as everyone else that is. You're connotating the idea of conservatism with MAGA Republicans and all that bullshit. And
no, I'm not. I'm saying that he is a conservative character, absolutely. But just because a show is not necessarily entirely defined by one of the characters or two of the characters that are on it. But it is defined by the cast of characters, and not everybody on that show is like Hank. Bill Dauterive, for example, is not like Hank.
Very much a conservative. No. Oh, absolutely.
No.
He's a conservative. No. Absolutely, he is.
No.
They all are. They're all classic Texas Republican. Like, and that's the thing is your idea of a conservative is the modern one. Like, you're doing the same thing as a lot of these comments did.
No, I'm not.
You are though. Like, they are conservative characters.
Yes, I am saying they are. But that doesn't necessarily make it a conservative show.
It does because it is populated.
It's not black and white, man.
But it is because it is populated by again. I never said it was a right wing show. I never said it was a right leaning show. It's not. It absolutely could be considered a left leaning show. But that doesn't change the fact that it is a conservative show with conservative characters. And that's fine. Again, everyone's acting as though that's there's so many of these comments were offended by that characterization because they don't want to be associated with what conservatism is perceived as today. And to be fair, I got an equal number of comments calling the show woke garbage, which it's also not. Like, that's the thing.
To be fair, those comments are mostly talking about the new one, which, for all we know, it could be.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, to be fair, I got a number of comments pointing out the fact that Mike Judge is an anti-Trump hater. Apparently, he has said that Hank would have voted for Hillary and Biden. Apparently, he said that on record. So, according to some of these comments, I didn't look into it too much because I wanted to see what it experienced it organically to see if
I could believe that he would have, regardless of what the creator said, just from what the character was.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I could believe that he would have because he would have seen. I could see Hank being the type where he would have seen the Trump and the MAGA people and just been like they're idiots.
Absolutely, yeah. And also like
that being said, Dale Gribble absolutely would have been a MAGA.
I presume. Well, I mean, to be fair, there is that clip of Hank saying to his dad, "Oh, I'm not going to teach my boy to be a woman hater." But that's conservatism. Like, whereas like my wife is my partner. That's not MAGA, but that's conservatism. That's conservative attitude, right? That people have misinterpreted conservative attitudes.
Absolutely.
The show has a conservative attitude.
Hank Hill and Peggy, and yes, they are absolutely conservative. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily make the entire show a conservative show.
But it is. That's my point. Is it does though, because it is populated by not. What I'm saying is the writing isn't conservative, or it's not a right wing show. Like, it's absolutely, there's no right wing comedy in there.
If the writing is not a right-wing show, and I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
it might have conservative values, but that doesn't make it a conservative show.
But that's the thing is we're gonna move on in a minute. But that's the thing is you're doing the thing where you're conflating conservatism and being a conservative with being right-wing. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Like politically, conservatives, like our conservatives, are not right-wing. Like, they're not. Like right people. Like,
no. But again.
Conservatism.
Just because characters in the show are written to be a particular way does not mean that the entire show is the show is how writing works.
The show is often about how conservative values are the correct ones. So yes, it is very much
sure, but not always. There are times where it's not. Yes, there are.
Okay, sure there are, but they're rare and fundamentally. And again, you're doing the same thing as the comments are, where.
Again, I'm mostly playing devil's advocate.
I mean, yeah, I'm right.
No, not necessarily. I don't necessarily think that the entire show is a conservative show. I think it has conservative moments. I think it has conservative characters. But it's not black and white. That doesn't instantly make it all one thing.
Like, just like I would say The Simpsons is a liberal show because it's populated by liberal characters. Or Family Guy is a liberal show because all the characters on that show are liberals. It's a liberal show. It's not a aspersion or a negative thing. But I guess my fundamental point here is people are perceiving it as a negative thing. It's not a negative thing.
It ultimately has to come down to writing. And yes, just because certain episodes are written to be conservative doesn't mean that the show itself necessarily is conservative.
It is conservative by nature of the fact that it takes place in Texas and all of its characters are conservative. I'm not saying the writing is conservative, but I'm saying it is as a testament about
and maybe that'll clarify it for the people that are upset.
Yeah, but, people conflate, and that I made a video about this on TikTok. But those comments conflate the idea of being conservative and Republican.
Well, I mean, to be fair, because
it's not the same thing.
It's because the modern day has ruined the very nature of it and the idea of it. They are permanently and irrevocably tied together, and that will never change.
Just like calling a person a liberal a conservative is an insult. Calling a conservative a liberal, they would consider that an insult, right? And that's how they're seeing it. And that's what I found interesting. Was because me saying that is a conservative show. It's fine. It's fine that those characters are conservative. That's fine. It's fine. And sometimes he's wrong, and sometimes he's right. Like, there's time, and that's fine. That's how the world operates. Like, one side is not explicitly wrong 100% of the time. So it's okay. That was my point fundamentally. It's okay that it's a conservative show. That's fine. What sucks are right-wing shows. Right-wing hack comedy. Like Mr. Bertram and shit like that. Where it's just angry white guys complaining about how they can't make racist jokes anymore. That shit sucks. And that's what people think I'm saying when I say it's a conservative show. But that's not what I'm saying.
The audio people can't hear, but I'm giving 2 thumbs up.
You're giving 2 thumbs way up. Way up. Leave comments, everybody. They ignite.
Helps with the channel, and it gets us pushed further into the algorithm, so more people can have our sultry voices speaking to them, or squeaky voices, as some people say.
Oh yeah, that was that final comment we'll talk about. Yeah, I said the squeaky one is annoying. Which one is the squeaky one? We have remarkably similar vocal timbres.
Is it me?
Is it me? Am I the squeaky one?
Is it me? Am I the squeaky one?
Am I the squeaky one?
Also, will we acknowledge the fact that people think that we're clones and interviewing ourselves?
On with the news, Jordan.